Hello and welcome back to Tarot Tuesday. I'm Amy the Medium and today we are talking about the Knight of Wands. Let's dive right into the artwork of this card. There's not a whole lot on the card, but each element within this card is quite symbolic on its own. So as we look at the Knight of Wands, what we see is a knight who is in full regalia, full armor, atop his horse, who's on its hindquarters. The knight is holding a wand instead of a sword, which is only fitting for the Knight of Wands. You will also notice that this knight is wearing a yellow tunic over his armor. Additionally, he has what I will assume are feathers atop his helmet, and there's some red fabric coming off the back of his armor as well. The artwork here is fairly simple, but the symbols in and of themselves mean quite a bit. First, let's take a look at that little lizard that's on the tunic of the knight. That is actually a salamander, and a salamander is often represented by the fire element. And as we know, wands represent that fire element, that ability of us to light a fire in ourselves and to take action to achieve our goals. And so the salamander here is just representative of that. Additionally, you'll notice that plume that's on the back of his head that I mentioned before, which is red. That is representative, again, of flame and fire. So you've got the red and the yellow to represent the color that you find in flame and fire. His horse is kind of a brownish orangish color depending on which deck that you have. It could be a little bit more orange, in my case it's a little bit more brown. But again, the mane on that horse is flying as if to look like flames. So everything here really represents that fire element that we find with the Wands suit, which is all about passion and purpose. So when you look at this, what you're really seeing is a knight who is off to do his duty with passion and with purpose. The meaning of this card is just that. Somebody who has a passion, who's got something that they are ready to conquer and ready to explore, and they are off to do it. This is not about taking your time to get things done. This is really about having that drive and that momentum to really get to it. He's quite determined and quite confident in his face. He looks as if he's done this many times before and he's ready to do it again. And that's important because what this card represents is our ability to accomplish our goals and not only just do what we need to do, but to do it with a flourish and do it well and do it with incredible success. So overall, it's about passion, it's about energy, it's about forward momentum, it's about a little bit of impulsivity, but also about inspiration and action. Now that overall is what the card can represent, but I always like to say when you see a person on your cards, that could represent an actual person in your life. So if you do see this card in a reading, you're gonna want to feel into whether or not this is indicative of the energy of your sitter, or is this a person in their life that they need a little bit more information about. So you could say to them, there's someone coming into your life that has these traits, or there's someone in your life who has these traits. You're aware of who that could be. Reverse, this card can have a couple of meanings as well. It could be the exact opposite of what we just talked about, where instead of being able to move forward with haste to reach your goals, it's about delays and frustrations, not being able to move forward. But also where I mentioned this card has a little bit of impulsivity in it, if you see this reversed, it can mean that the impulsiveness is actually exponential. It's a lot greater. And while that's not bad, that can also lead to the frustration and the delays. So upright, a lot of forward momentum, reversed, a lot of delays. So that is the Knight of Wands. I hope you've enjoyed this week's Tarot Tuesday. Take care, and we will see you next week.